and I am going to get 26 grams. So that 26 grams tells me that once all of my chlorine is used up, I am still going to have 26 grams of sodium left over. So if I need to make more table salt, I've got 26 grams of sodium to do so with. Last but not least, let's take a look at percent yield. All right. And using your theoretical yield from the previous equation. All right, so what we just found out is that we have a theoretical yield. All right, a theoretical yield of 124 grams of sodium chloride. All right, that was our theoretical yield from last equation. All right, we need to find the percent yield if I actually did the experiment and produced only 115 grams of sodium chloride. So if you look down below, actual yield over theoretical yield. All right, let's start there. So I know my theoretical yield is 124 grams. All right, I figured that out. Theoretical yield should usually be bigger than your actual yield. Why? Because theoretical yield is essentially a perfect experiment. In a perfect world, right, all our variables are controlled. We have run a perfect experiment, and we have maximized the efficiency of that experiment. Okay, our actual yield is when we actually run the experiment. Maybe we didn't get our product hot enough. Okay, maybe there weren't ideal conditions. We didn't account for a variable. Here you can see I produced roughly 10 less grams, 9 less grams than my theoretical yield. All right, so we need to find our percent yield. In here, for percent yield, we have to follow the law of conservation of matter, meaning you cannot create matter. Okay, it's somewhere. And in chemical equation, all the matter you started with needs to be there at the end. If not, you have done something incredibly important. Okay, you have created matter. You are going to be a very famous person. All right, since we haven't discovered that process yet, we may not have more than 100%. All right, so if we look, we have 115. And we divide that by 124, and that's going to give us roughly 0.92741935548. Great. We're going to multiply that by 100, and that is going to give us 92.7. Let's call that 93% yield. All right. So a pretty good experiment. Now, say if I actually produced 130 grams, right? My theoretical yield was 124. Okay, I'm going to multiply that by 100. And what is that going to give me? Well, you can see that my numerator is greater than my denominator. That's going to give me 105%. If you run into this, double check, make sure you did not flip-flop, make sure you didn't accidentally flip your theoretical and your actual yield. And if your numbers are correct, your math is correct, okay, maybe your teacher, Mr. Robbins, is being mean and is trying to trick you to make sure you know your material, right? You say that 105%, that is not acceptable. Okay, that's not within the acceptable range. We have created matter in this equation, and something is wrong. We can't do that. All right. So, gentlemen, if you need any more help, please come and find me before school on Tuesday. All right. And I can help you quickly before we do our little quest. Any other questions, please feel free to email me. Have a good one.